It's good when what you want that has not yet fully manifested feels good to you, because that means you're allowing it to unfold in a natural and satisfying way. If you want something and you're uneasy about it, then you've got some resistance, which just means you don't believe what you want. And that's all right, because usually when you launch a desire, you don't believe it because it's a new desire that you haven't practiced being in sync with. A belief is just a thought that you continue to think. And so if you are accustomed to noticing your life and there's something missing that you want, and you continue to notice that it's missing, that's what a belief is. It's just something that has your attention, and therefore you're offering continual vibrational support for. And isn't it a normal thing to believe what you're looking at? That's the way you've been taught. You've been taught to be objective. You want to be realistic. Your parents tell you to tell it like it is. You are encouraged to face reality by other humans. We don't encourage that. We don't encourage a facing of reality or an accepting of reality or a continuing practicing of the thoughts of reality, meaning the way you mean reality is manifestations as they now are, because by you looking at what is and continuing, therefore, the vibrational trend of what is, it can't change. It just continues to be the same. Things are always changing. We want to be clear about that, but they change to more of the same because you get what you think about. So if you're thinking about what is, then you're regurgitating, recreating more of what is. And maybe you want it different, which means you've got to offer a different vibration, which means you've got to find some way of offering your vibration other than by just observing and having a knee-jerk response to something. That's what most do. We love you so much, but that's really the lazy way. You look at it, you don't like it, you notice it, you talk with others who also don't like it, you talk about why you don't like it, you hold fast to the vibration of the absence of what you do like by your attention of what you don't want or don't like, and in that process you feel worse and worse because something that you may not know you did, in your sifting through the magnificent data and contrast of your life, when you knew what you don't want, you also know what you did want. You don't feel good because you launched a rocket and the larger part of you is over there in vibrational alignment and resonance with what you're asking for while you may not be. In order to really understand what we just said to you, you have to accept, you have to at least try to contemplate that you are more than you see in this physical body. You are an extension of source energy. And the source energy part of you from which you have come and focused into this body remains non-physically focused. Your soul, your source, we call that your inner being. So your inner being, when you in your humanness, we love you so much, sift and sort and launch new rockets of desire, new preferences, what happens is your inner being moves immediately in the direction of that new preference. And so there is therefore a potential of there being a vibrational split between you and you who's still focusing on what is, and your inner being who's focusing upon the new intention, the new desire, the newfound vibration. So then what happens as you have launched this new desire and the larger part of you is focused upon the new desire? There are times to focus on what you want, and there are times to relax and allow what you've focused upon before to come into your experience. And this is why we are making this important distinction. And it's at the root of your question. So the answer will make a lot of sense to you once we tell you this very short thing. As you pointed out, there are so many options of wonderful things that you could be the creator of. Unlimited. And we can understand how, when you look at it conceptually, that it could feel overwhelming. However, you don't have access to all of those things, nor would you want to anyway. So let's say that your life has helped you to focus on something. Maybe it's money, maybe it's a vehicle, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's an improvement in something. Doesn't matter what the subject is, but the subject, every subject, is the subject of what is wanted and the subject of the absence of it. There's a range between having it and not having it that you could be in vibrational alignment with. You might feel sort of prosperous, but you might worry about money too. So you're sort of back and forth on that subject. So in any moment in time when you focus on something, we like to call your attention to it by saying you've picked up the stick of that subject. And on one end of it is what you want, and on the other end of it is the absence of what you want. And the question is, what's your emotional state of being? What's your vibrational point of attraction when you've picked the stick up? Because when you pick the stick up, when you're focused upon it, that's your point of attraction. So let's say it's about money, just for fun, because that's often something that people are wanting and worrying about. So let's say you've picked up the stick called money and you're pondering it, but you're under the influence of something that just happened, which is bills came that you can't pay, or someone close to you wants something from you financially that you can't afford. And so what's activated within you is a clear feeling of lack of money. And the way you are feeling right now is worried or pensive or even angry or guilty or blameful or resentful. In other words, you've got some of these emotions that are within you now that you've got the stick in your hand. Under those conditions, what we were talking about earlier, you're blowing a vibrational resistant pattern outward. And even though your vortex has been gathering the cooperative components, they can't get to you because your output is whatever you're under the influence of. So the answer, such an important answer to deliberate creation, is be aware of whether you're under the influence of your problem or whether you're under the influence of your solution. You can't be needing something and letting it in at the same time. That does not go together. Here's the thing. You can't let what others are doing be your reason for not feeling appreciated or feeling appreciated. You can't be conditional in it. You've got to get out ahead of it. Because if you're having a knee-jerk reaction to what is, then more of the same of what is what's going to come to you, because you're not going to let anything other than the knee-jerk reaction to what is in. Does that make sense to you? Whatever it is that you're feeling is the indicator of the wall that you've got up or the openness that you have.